installing 5 of these Apple Mac Pro model computers, brand new out of the box. And the first thing we're doing with them is we're installing this Kingston RAM, and these are 16 gig modules, and we're putting 6 of these into every one of these Mac Pros for a total of 96 gigs of RAM, if my math is correct. Up here is a handle. You can sort of see it. You turn it 90 degrees, and then you lift. It's a little heavy, but it's not bad. Now you notice that there's a little lock icon here and another lock icon here. So if you slide this, it actually unlocks this. So you just pull this off, unlock it all the way, and then the same for here. And this design actually allows the RAM to be installed behind the motherboard, so on the back side of the motherboard. These computers come with 12 slots. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 6 of these in where these 4 are. So these 4 are base RAM, the smallest amount of RAM you can get, and I think these are 8 gig modules. But what I wanted to show was actually this little chart here. So you can see that each one of them has the 12 little slots that line up with the 12 slots here. 6 up here and 6 down here. So what you need to do is you need to follow those configurations. So for example, in our case, we're installing 6 sticks. So you cannot install an odd number of modules in this. It will not work. But it comes with 4, and you can see that it says here that in slot 8 and slot 10, which is 8 and 10, will be those 2 modules. And up here, slot 3 and 5, 3 and 5. So you have to follow this chart, otherwise you're going to get errors or possibly a computer that doesn't even boot. So we're doing 6. So we're going to put sticks into slot 1, 3, 5, and then 8, 10, and 12. So Apple did the math for you. We're doing this configuration here. So I'm going to pop these out because these are not going to be used. And you have to be careful with these. These do take a little bit of effort, but don't force them. They will break. And you really want to keep these as spares, so that way if anything ever happens to your computer and you have memory issues, you know, with the aftermarket stuff, you can always put the original ones back in just to get yourself going. 2 things of note. Try not to touch these, at least not with bare hands. I always try to hold it like this, or like this. You know, if I'm feeding it, I'm probably going to feed it like this or like this. You try to avoid exposing those leads, those pins, to human oils from the fingers. Make sure that you have the orientation of these correctly, because the notch is to the left. So you want to make sure that you install it this way. And you saw me undo the clips up here. I pushed them out. And then we make sure that these go into the rails, or into the holders, I should say. And then easily, gently, pop them in. And they do click in. So when these are closed, that means they're sealed. And you can see I left the other 2 that we had previously open already, and also these guys down here. And we'll just keep going. Later. I installed all 6 of these. You see that it was relatively easy. And I'll bring this up here just to make sure that we've got 1, 3, 5, and then 8, 10, and 12. Yes, and they're all numbered on the side here. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but there are little tiny numbers right on the side of each slot, so you can't really mess this up. And then this has a locking hole over here. On the other side, it doesn't. So this part goes into the outside of the computer, because this part has to click into the part that locks in there. So it slides in. Make sure you get it all the way out to the edge, and then press gently. None of this stuff requires force. If you need force, you're doing it wrong. Also, taking this lid off, no force. Just be careful. These are very expensive computers. You don't want to end up in an oh crap situation, because it's very easy to get you there, especially with relatively new hardware. You try to just be gentle and literally just do it the way you would do it if this was grandma's china. We're done. So RAM is installed. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this lid and I'm gonna lift it up by the handle and I'm gonna slide it right back over the top of this. Let it slide down, let gravity help you. And then once it gets down here, make sure that it's as far down as it'll go, because as you turn this, it'll actually go down even further. It'll cinch it down for you. And then you lay it down. And that, my friends, is how you do a memory upgrade. So as you can see, the plastic coating is still on it. This is a brand new computer. And what we're interested in specifically is that little tiny door that's right there. I know you're far away, you can't see it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to peel all this plastic off. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna peel this off. But once you start peeling this off, the rest of it wants to come off. So you kind of have to just fold it over like that. So the trick that I've kind of been doing with this is the door right here. You can kind of see it looks like a trap door. And there is a nifty way to pop this out. What you want to use is you want to use a little tiny key like that that's got the like semi-flat end or rolled over end like this one, because right here, right there is a little tiny button. So you got to unplug the computer if you're already plugged in. We are going to push that in. So you hold the screen, and the second you start pushing that, hang on, let me get it in there. This trap door of sorts comes open. This computer actually has 2 sticks of RAM in it. You can sort of see them right here's one, and right there's the other. And they're held in with these retaining clips. There's one right here, and the opposite one's right here on this side. And what you do is you pull this out. There's actually an arrow drawn on that clip. Just follow the arrow, and that drawer comes out. So because we are putting in 4 of these into here, the maximum slot count is 4. So we actually have to do ourselves a favor and remove the factory RAM. So here's one. I'm just going to set it down right here. There's the other one. We're going to lay that one right next to it. And these are the, like I said, the Kingston 32 gig. You can notice that this this key, or this notch right here, which is actually called a key, is offset. There are more pins on the right hand side than there are on the left. You have to make sure that you line this up. Now for these Macs, I'm going to save you the trouble. This is the correct orientation. So label up, notch to the left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slide this in. And there's little tray, like little rails that these go into. They slide it right in. Again, do not force anything. If it doesn't feel right, reevaluate. We now have to push this back in gently until it kind of snaps in. And you have to go opposite of the arrow. So the arrows point outward. Now you have to make sure that it's snapped inward. So you can see those are in. So there's the 2 older sticks. We're going to save those. And you know, you really want to save your old RAM, label it, save it, because if these ever have problems, you always have something to go back to. You know, this is good RAM. This has no right side. It either goes like this or it goes like this, but there's no tabs or anything. So whichever way you're holding it, line it up and then give it a good, not forceful, but just enough to press it in. And this is kind of, like I said, a weird position. You just have to work it until it snaps in. There we go. So as part of this edit system replacement that we're doing, we're going to be installing these LG Ultrafine 5K displays. This model here is the 27MD5KL. We got these from Apple. They are specifically for Mac. So pretty slick, actually, if you ask me. Relatively light. And, you know, they look really, really nice. You know, compared to the old cinema displays, I think I prefer these LGs better. And they're also 5K resolution, so you'll get more bang for your buck. So I quickly thought I'd go over what's inside the box with these displays. This is the accessory box. They actually come with really nice braided cables. Like this is a USB-C cable specifically for the MacBook Pro, and it's actually a really nice quality cable. Looks nice. Oh, I saved this because I thought this was awesome. These displays come wrapped in a Mylar blanket that looks really something futuristic there. So Apple really did a nice job with the packaging of this. Here's the old user's guide, which is, I think, 3 pages. So pretty neat. You can see right there what comes with it. Actually comes with a VESA plate too, which is this. You can actually replace the stand off the back of your display. It's got a cutout right here for the power cable, for the IEC power cable. And you can attach this to the back of the display. Very nice power cable. Comes with everything. And then here you have the, this is a Thunderbolt 3 cable. Kind of long too. I'm not sure if this is 6 feet or what, but this is to connect your Mac to the actual display, Thunderbolt 3. So this looks like it's for, I was trying to see if there's a difference between that. Actually, I see it already. So one's USB-C for USB, the other one's for Thunderbolt. I'm pretty sure they both will do the same thing, but I'm willing to bet this one can handle more bandwidth for some of the Thunderbolt 3 applications that you can tie into the back of the display with. So if you have an external drive or something that require Thunderbolt 3, you're not going to want to use this cable. This is probably just for charging or USB data transfers, like if you have a USB-C drive or, like it says here, a MacBook or an iPad Pro. That's what you want to use that for. But this is what your interface is going to be between your display and your Mac Pro.